We need to hit this because I could feel your reaction already. So we know that afternoon show is unveiling the top 11 athletes in Philadelphia, right?
Yes.
And the final voting, like the actual list, not just my list and yours and Kyle's and everyone's, but the actual list, the official WIP list is half of our voting as a staff and half the listeners. So that's how the voting is done. And then we get the list, and they're unveiling some of the spots day by day. So here's what we found out so far. Number 11, Devontae Smith. Number 10, Joel Embiid. Number 9, Jordan Mailata. Number 8, Kyle Schwarber. Number 7, Jalen Carter. Number 6, Lane Johnson. Now, they did unveil something yesterday, and you could probably kind of start guessing your head who the top 5 are going to be in some order. But with what we know and what we're going to find out, they did unveil yesterday that Zack Baun did not make the top 11. That he did not make it. I think I heard Spike say yesterday that the WIP staff had him a little bit higher than the listeners, and it just didn't equate to him making it. He just didn't get enough votes. I think it's crazy. How is Zack Baun not a top 11 athlete right now in Philadelphia? And look, I love Devontae Smith, and he's a really good player. He wasn't close to as impactful as Zack Baun. Joel Embiid is a part-time player now. He plays half seasons. I'm just using those because those are the last 2 guys on the list. I found it crazy that Zack Baun, all-pro linebacker, the real 53 for the Philadelphia Eagles, did not make the list. Your reaction to Zack Baun not making the top 11?
Oh. So wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Out of the you said the list of the people voted, and right now, as it stands, the Eagles that are on the list are Jalen Carter's one, right? It's only one defensive player.
One defensive player. It's just Jalen Carter.
And the defense led the way. From your guys' perspective.
No. You can just go where you were about to go before you tried to couch it with us. Tell us the truth of what happened.
No. I'm just asking before everybody gets all violent and everything.
No one's violent. No one's violent.
Okay, well, loud.
What was your first feeling when I told you Baun didn't make the top 11?
What was my first feeling?
Yeah.
Luxury, not a necessity. I'm trying to tell you, this is what I talk about when I say vision. No. I have vision.
Was Zack Baun a necessity on the defense last year?
Zack Baun was
a necessity on the defense last year.
Can I tell you what Zack Baun was? A pleasant surprise.
That became a necessity.
What? You're dodging the question.
I'm not dodging the question. I'm trying to expand you guys' minds so you could kind of see where I'm coming from when I come from the perspective that I'm coming from. I'm not trying to diminish Zack Baun's contribution. I'm not. But if we're being honest about it, Zack Baun, when he came in here, was a huge question mark.
Of course.
He was a huge question mark.
But he became an all-pro.
And he put himself in a position to become an all-pro and take care of his family in a way that he wouldn't have done it if he would have stayed in New Orleans.
Absolutely. Well, we're on the same page.
And when you talk about, this is the thing that I think is lost on.
It's a lot lost.
On my stance when I say defense is a luxury, is that most of the defensive players, by the moves that this team made in the offseason, were deemed expendable.
But wait, they re-signed him right away.
He was the only one. He was the only one because he was an outlier because he was a pleasant surprise. That's what made him the outlier because he did more than you thought he was going to be able to do.
Right.
He contributed above and beyond his pay grade, so you had to pay him.
So your reaction is, I was right.
I didn't say that.
No, you did.
I didn't say that.
You went back to luxury necessity.
No, I'm just saying that. There are so many different examples that are just falling out of the sky, like manna from the sky, that shows you every day the vision that I had when I had this take, this AI take that is like a universal take that is like the hottest take on the planet, like it's super hot right now. It just validates it every day.
So instead of saying the voters made a mistake, it's I was right.
No, I'm saying it is what it is because you now one day, and one day soon you will see.
Nope.
The vision that I had when I made this beautiful take.
I want you to tell the voters that they were wrong to not put Zack Baun on the top 11.
No,
That's what I want from you.
Telling them. I'm just saying they see it the way I see it.
It's a joke. It is a total joke.
Listen, I know that this has been tough sledding for all of us that believe the way that I believe. Now I'm talking to you people. I appreciate you.
You're like a politician.
I know, it really is.
Having such an open mind and realizing what I've been trying to teach these two the whole time.
I think they forgot.
They
forgot about that.
Here's what I find the best part of this. Like, it's like sometimes the irony is so thick. Every time that I just try to just bring everyone back to some reality on Jalen Hurts, again, a good quarterback, a winning quarterback, not number one on this list by any stretch. You know what I get told a lot?
What's that?
Joe, it's so important that he didn't turn the football over. Zack Baun forced a turnover in every playoff game.
Oh, he was a baller.
Right, but wait.
No question.
But if the quarterback protecting the ball is such a big deal that I need to not, let that go, we didn't vote a defensive player that forced a turnover in every playoff game that the team won the Super Bowl onto the top 11 list.
Because you know why?
Because it's ridiculous is why. He's a top 11 player in the city.
He may have been their best, like besides Saquon, from front to back of the season, from game 1, minute 1 to the Super Bowl.
Can I help you out a little bit? See, Zack Baun, probably realistically, this is probably why people didn't vote for Zack Baun. Is because it's a small sampling size. I am not, like, to your point. It is.
Well, Saquon's on there. Same sampling size.
Saquon has, number one, this is the same thing that Jalen suffers from when we talk about quarterbacks because he was drafted lower. Zack Baun is not considered one of the elite athletes because he was a special teams player. And he came here, and I'm just telling you what it is.
I don't think that's
okay, so what is it then?
Well, hold on, because he's never been a special teamer like here. Like, Eagles fans only know him as a player that dominated from game 1 to the final game.
And that's what I was trying to tell you, is that people don't look at it. They look at him as a pleasant surprise. And there are some out there that might even say that he benefited tremendously from the front line that he played against, or played with, I should say.
Well, the Eagles
then
don't
what did Jalen do?
Because the Eagles let the front line go to keep picks.
I am saying Jalen is the most important player on the field,
right, but
he was the one that made it go. It's not the same. I hear what you're saying, Kyle. It's just not the same.
Well, it's a double standard.
It's not a double.
If you're going to use that, then it's a double standard.
It's not a double standard.
It is, because Saquon benefited from the offensive line.
It's not a double standard.
It's erasure of the defense.
Well, it's not an erasure of the defense. It's the way people see it.
People are blind. Like, what are we talking about here?
I'm telling you, this. I just want to know.
Don't shoot the messenger.
When was the meeting to see how many things we could do to drive me up a wall? Because, like, it's almost like the season that we watched together. Everyone decided I saw it differently. What season did I watch?
I am just trying to
I watched the season where the defense led the way.
I am trying to enlighten you.
He was an all-pro. And forget the Eagles for a second. Joel Embiid got voted onto the list. The guy doesn't play basketball anymore. Joel Embiid hasn't hit 40 games in a season in 3 years.
I hear you, but I think that you're missing what I'm trying to say. I mean, it's not the way that I guess it is kind of the way my philosophy.
It is your philosophy.
It's kind of my philosophy,
This
too.
is your fault.
But it's one of those things, man, where Zach is probably not getting those props because of where he came from and how people view him. He balled out last year. He deserved everything that he got.
Wasn't he second in defensive player of the year
voting? Yeah, he was, but he deserves everything that he got.
Okay, so why does everyone in the world know how good he was except us, apparently?
Because
No, because we're lunatics.
Well, no.
This is what Joe and I have been trying to explain to everybody for a while. People have lost their minds.
No.
They're clouded with this idea that Jalen Hurts carried the team somehow to the Super Bowl for some reason, and now Saquon and the defense's contributions are totally diminished. It's ridiculous.
You're going to need a gummy after this.
What this has become is total disrespect to anyone not named Jalen Hurts.
It really is.
It's total disrespect. I mean, it's actually incredible. I mean, I don't understand why. And you are partially responsible.
Luxury, not a necessity.
See, this is why I am going to shoot the messenger, because you delivered this message to all of the people that are listening to this station, and they follow you. You don't know.
I have vision.
I'm tired of your stupid vision.
Piper, and they're following you off the cliff. And you're okay with it.
I'm just trying to tell you how it is.
It's the way it is wrong.
Okay, that's another argument for another day.
It's the only argument. It's stupid.
It is what it is, man. I don't make these rules. It's just that's the way That's the way teams are built nowadays.
Did Elliott have Baun on his list? We got to find Elliott's list. Because if that guy who came on here yesterday and tried to, spin a nice little web that, Nick Foles against the Falcons in 2017.
Now you ready to go? You ready to go back around?
Because, who cares about Nick Foles in 2017? What does that do with this year?
Baun is not on his list.
So Zack Baun's not on his list, but Jalen Hurts is number one. I don't know if the guy was watching different games.
Yeah, I mean, that's a disgrace. He has Baun at 12.
Oh, that's a nice consolation prize.
At least he put him on.
No,
even though it's a list of 11.
He didn't put him on. The 12 through 20s are what you call, that's honorable mentions.
It's the most egregious omission from the list that so far.
He was an all-pro at linebacker. The city that used to like defense now has become Hugh Douglas delusion over here. Defense doesn't matter.
That's worse than me and DeCamera leaving Hurts off the list.
That's a good question. They're both, I think, enough to get people angry.
The people have spoken, man.
But everyone's going to throw a hissy fit and bring out their pitchforks about leaving Jalen off when Baun is just as much, if not a bigger disgrace.
He's the quarterback.
And what Baun was the middle linebacker.
And people are babies.
I don't understand what y'all don't understand about being here in Philadelphia in the way that we think about things.
Can you just say that people are wrong for leaving Zack Baun off? Just do me a favor. Just do me a favor and say it.
Defense is a luxury.
But this isn't.
Not a
do you realize what you're saying? This is not the Philadelphia that any of us know. Defense is what this city was built on. Do you forget who you are?
I have not forgotten.
You have.
No, but
can we hear the Sean King sack? Defense is what this city was built on.
No, it was.
You are an imposter.
But I think the people.
Up to throw. And it's hit just as he let the ball go, or did he let it go? This might be the Eagles' ball. I think it is. I'll tell you, Hugh Douglas came from that backside and really unloaded on Sean King.
Unloaded on him, Hugh.
They weren't cheering for a pass. They were cheering because you knocked his block off.
This is a defensive town, but.
Was apparently.
It was.
No, it is. It is.
Nope,
but
no. Joe, we should revoke this town's defensive guard.
I think this is a show one day. Is this still a defensive town? Obviously not. I mean, you've led the city astray.
I have not led the city astray. I was just. I'm Lee Iacocca in this situation. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing. He used to work for Chrysler. He was the guy that ran Chrysler. He was a visionary. I just felt like throwing it out there. But the point that I'm making is this. The point that I'm making is this. The Chrysler Bear was hot back in the day. He was leading the way with them Chryslers. But anyway, it's something that you see. Like when you look at these teams and you look at the way that they're built, it's always offensive centric. Every team that we talk about that is we talk when we talk about the Detroit Lions. We don't really talk about their defense a whole lot, even though their defense was hurt last year. We talk about their offense.
Their offense is better.
And their offense and their defense is going to come back healthier this year.
Right.
But, man, when you talk about the NFL as a whole, defensive players are interchangeable, expendable way more than they were when the years that I played. It's just the way it is. They don't even play as many snaps as they played when I played. Like you would average on average. From the linebackers, secondary, and everybody, you're getting at least 60 snaps a game. That was the norm. The defensive line in this NFL, they're lucky to get 40 snaps. It's more like 30 because they rotate them much.
No one disagrees on that.
No, and that's why it's become more of a luxury because the focal point of most teams, to score more points than other teams.
I'm just stuck on Lee Iacocca. I'm stuck.
Yeah, I just had to drop that. I felt like being a visionary in that moment.
Using references, guys born 1924.
Yeah, it was poignant.
1920, not poignant. 1924.